I'm Kate Holmes, and welcome to Put Down the Mascara, a podcast that focuses on living authentically and unapologetically and cutting through the bull sheesh. Right?
I would have used another word.
Trying not to, although I really do want to use that word. We're being mindful of our audience. I am so thankful to be here today with a very special guest, Elvira Hopper from Love Your Vibe Transformation. And we're going to talk about some really key points today. And I'm excited to learn more because this is something I don't know a whole lot about. It is absolutely out of my comfort zone, but totally get the concept. So glad that you're here with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Katie. This is awesome. And I love your room.
Thank you. We'll work hard on this. So tell us about the work that you do.
So my work is work that came through me, and I call it work, not work, because it's not my work, it's my purpose.
You gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
It's your purpose.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
And I like to tell my people, my team, my audience, my clients, if it ain't in your JPG zone, it ain't your job. And what does that stand for? Joy, passion, and genius. Mm-hmm. So you need to do the things that light you up from the inside and that are connected to things you're really good at, things you really enjoy that you want to explore further, right? So anything that doesn't fit that, get someone else to do it, right? So for me, my life was one of living out of alignment for very, very long, where I was not doing what was in my JPG zone. I was doing what I was basically told to do, right?
Okay.
So as a little girl, I saw a bunch of beautiful women on stage singing and dancing. And I was singing and dancing when I leapt out of the womb. So it's who I was too, right? Mm-hmm. And I saw these women on stage and fell in love with them. And it's a bit of a longer story, but I'll tighten it for today. Basically, I said to my daddy afterwards, my daddy who could sing like Pavarotti, but never did anything with his voice. Because the message he got from his parents was that good men are not on stages singing.
Right.
Good men are good husbands and fathers and providers. His sister, she was on world-class opera stages, but when she got married, Kate, she had to hang up her opera gown, put on an apron, and was told, now you can't step foot on another stage ever again.
It's a different time now.
Yeah, it's a different time now. So back then, when I was 11 years old, and I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up, wanted to be one of those women on stage. I was a performer. I was a singer. I was a dancer. Anyway, I looked at my daddy with stars in my eyes, and I said, Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up. Do you know what my dad said? Based on what you just heard? Yeah. Here's what he said. No, you can't be one of those women, Elvira, because those women are sluts. And that was it. I wasn't allowed to be anymore.
Life-changing at 11.
Yeah. And what does Dr. Phil call it? A life determining moment? He's got a term for it. Anyway, little 11-year-old Elvira said, okay, Daddy, to myself, okay, Daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me? And so the sins of the father visited onto the child, right? His parents didn't allow him to be himself. He didn't allow me to be myself. So what did I say? Okay, who do I need to be? Well, I figured out real fast. I had to be a good little Italian Catholic girl, get good grades, get a good career, get a good husband, and give them some grandchildren. Well, guess what? I did do all of that, and it nearly killed me. So that's my story. I lived out of alignment. I chose not one, but two solid healthcare careers. Science was something I was mildly interested in high school, and I thought, okay, when I came home one day after dissecting a frog, and I said to my parents, I dissected a frog today, and everybody was grossed out, but I thought it was kind of cool. I think I'm going to be a doctor. They freaked out. They said, oh my God, our daughter's going to be a doctor. We're immigrants to Canada, so that was a big deal that they thought I was going to be a doctor. Well, I tried to be a doctor. I didn't have the marks to get into men's school. So I was told to become either a nurse or a lab technologist. And I was like, okay, I'm not cleaning up people's bedpans, so I'm going to be a lab technologist, whatever that is, right? Well, I went through lab technology school. God knows how I graduated through the skin of my teeth or whatever the term is. I felt like an imposter all through that education. I worked at Princess Margaret for 7 years, felt like an imposter, got bullied, had depression, anxiety, panic attacks. It was not a good way to live, but that's what happens when we live out of alignment, Kate.
I think so many people struggle with imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And how did you change that?
So I decided, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I was at such a low level. And at that point, I just left and I got plucked out, thankfully. An angel man came up to me and said, would you like to work in the diagnostics industry? So not working in a lab, but selling to a lab. So I said, I can get out of this place, right? So I did. And I was in a dark place after that. So my brother gave me a series of Anthony Robbins tapes. At that time, I was listening on my Sony Walkman. That's how old I am. And so I listened to these tapes, and Tony basically got me out of a dark place. I was feeling very depressed, very beaten up, bullied at work. Because when you're living out of alignment, you have a target on your back. And that's why you get bullied. That's why you get treated badly.
And
that's why you're a crap magnet.
That's what I was just going to say. You use that term, and that term really resonates with me because the title describes it. It doesn't need any other explanation.
No.
When you're a crap magnet, what are you attracting?
Yeah.
Crap.
Because guess what? You haven't connected to your authentic self. You haven't been fully self-expressed. I talk about getting a line of authentic and fully self-expressed. It's what saved my life at my rock bottom. And I'm here to share that with the world. And I'm blessed to have a team now that's helping me do that. And so, anyway, so back to Tony Robbins. When he, basically at the beginning, when he asks you, what is that thing that you dare not tell anybody that you want to do, that you're supposed to do, right? Guess what mine was?
Sing and dance.
Everybody said that. Yeah, everybody says that. You know what it was? I want to be you, Tony. I want to help people live their best life. I want to help people transform. Guess what I'm doing today?
Helping people transform and live their best lives. Yeah. So when you talk about being a crap magnet, what's the opposite to that? How are you living today?
As a miracle magnet.
And again, that needs zero explanation.
And that needs zero explanation.
It explains itself.
Yeah, I call myself Chief Miracle Magnet, right? CMM, that's my title, CMM. And it's because I literally, let me just explain really quickly. When I left the lab to go into pharmaceutical sales, well, first diagnostics, I got transferred over to pharmaceutical sales. 20 years in that career, felt like an imposter every single day. I felt like I did not know enough. Everybody there had a degree, and they felt like, I'm sure they felt like they knew enough. I never felt like I knew enough because I came from the diagnostic world and I got put into that world. So I didn't actually have a degree like everyone else.
And that's 2 decades of not living authentically.
Almost 3. So 7 years in the lab, 20 years pharmaceuticals. So at the end, just before I started getting the breakdown that led to the breakthrough, I saw a friend leave the industry, the pharma industry, to become a life coach. And I saw how happy she was and how grounded she was and how she'd actually changed. Her face actually changed. She went from being like really hard features, like really hard jaw, like lines here. And suddenly, I haven't seen her in a year. She's beautiful. She is like stunningly beautiful. And I'm like, what have you done? And she said, Elvira, in the last year, I've become a life coach. I'm like, what the hell is a life coach, right? And she said, well, you help people go from here to here, blah, blah, blah. And I said, do you get paid for that? Like, I couldn't believe that was an actual career. So I put it out in the universe that night. And I said, I don't know what she did, but one day I'm doing it too. So literally that next week, I went into work. My boss, who hired me at the highest salary, biggest car, biggest, biggest vacation package, like I was all that in a bag of chips, right? He had to hire me from another company to go to this one. And so I was treated like gold. He's suddenly gone. So had I been a smart girl, I would have said, oh, Scott's gone. My friend showed me that what I could be, maybe I'm meant to leave too, right? If I had been smart, I would have said that. However, my ego took over and I got really firm and said, oh, that's probably a sign that I'm meant to be the manager now. So I went for his job, competed with a male colleague who was an alpha male, God bless him. He truly, we were such good friends. We used to be work spouses, but now that we're in competition with each other for the boss's job, it gets ugly politically.
Dynamics changed.
Yes. And now he has ruined my reputation in the company. There was a little misunderstanding. Instead of fixing it, Kate, he just went for my jugular. And I was bleeding all over the ground for 2 solid years. Nobody talked to me at work. I went into meetings. I was persona non grata. I walked around with a kick me sign on my back because I'm being bullied corporately, right? So now, because of that, my one good year in the lab, by the way, was when I got to dance for the Argos. I got to be an Argo cheerleader for 1 year. That was one good year where my depression kind of subsided because I was able to be me. And so a former Argo cheerleader decided I didn't belong anymore. Why? because she saw the kidney sign on my back. So now I'm in this dark place.
Another crap magnet analogy.
Yes, exactly. I was a total crap magnet with this kick me sign on my back. And I'm blaming these people here bullying me at work. I'm blaming these people bullying me as a former cheerleader. For 2 solid years, depression, anxiety, panic disorder, bipolar, marriage on the skids, and finally, suicidal ideation, where I hit my rock bottom and I said, okay, if I am to live this way for the rest of my life to my higher power, give me a way out that's not drugs, because I was a drug rep. I knew what they did to our bodies. Plus my dad, he had a bullying incident at his work in his 50s, because he too lived out of alignment, right? He too was a crap magnet. And he had a nervous breakdown. He couldn't deal with the bully at work. He had to go on lorazepam for the rest of his life, a very strong anti-anxiety drug. So when I saw what drugs did to my dad, when he died, his liver was huge, right? So no disrespect to anyone that takes drugs, but for me, it was not an option because I was a drug rep and I saw my dad go through that.
And I think that comment goes to being authentic to you too. So for some people, those drugs are extremely important. And for some people, they just are not within there.
Exactly.
So I think we should acknowledge that
Thank you.
people need to live authentically and do what's best for.
Exactly. That empathy is a different solution, as I like to call it, right?
Absolutely.
What resonates with your soul, right?
Yes.
And so don't just listen to what other people say. Tap into your soul. What do you need? And what is your miracle mix? That's what the miracle magnet movement is about. It's not just my solution. It's everybody's solution. What is the mix that keeps you vibrating at miracle magnet level?
And I think miracle magnet level, when you say miracle mix, I like that because it's not just one thing.
No, everything. Every modality matters. And you need to figure out what is your combination. So when I get out of bed, I have a certain practice that I follow. That's my miracle mix. I get up, I do my inner child work, my self-love work. Then I do my exercises. Then I do my breathing out with my husband. We have this breath work thing we do together. Mm-hmm. Then I do my meditation. So that's what keeps me vibrating in miracle magnet zone, right? So everybody has a different combination. I like to say there's 8 billion people on the planet, and there's 8 billion ways of loving your vibe, of being a miracle magnet, right? Mm-hmm. So back to that story. So my father, I saw what drugs did to him, didn't want to go that route. And when I was a new mommy, my son's 28 today, doing very well. But when I was a new mommy, I had mommy issues. I had to go to therapy for 2 years. So my mom is my best friend today at 84. Okay, I saw her yesterday. We are totally in love with each other. But when I was a new mommy, I had to go for 2 years of therapy. That took a long time, took a lot of money. So I saw that it worked. When I hit my rock bottom, it couldn't be drugs, it couldn't be therapy. It needed to be fast and natural. Or give me a way out of this life. That's what I asked for. That was my rock bottom. Mm-hmm. That's when everything transformed. That's when I realized, oh my God, if I'm being bullied over here in my life, and I'm being bullied over here in my life, 2 different areas, who's the common denominator? Me. Right. Starts with you. And that's when I took radical responsibility. I had radical self-awareness, radical responsibility. That's when I started being divinely gifted with all the teachings and tools that transformed my life. And literally within a month, I've never gone back to my darkness ever again. And I was told it's not just for you, it's for you to share with the world. And now I have an incredible team that was formed when COVID hit, when 2 women came together who had done my online program, my online course. They said, Elvira, we love your teachings and tools. We want to share them with the world. And we're going to create a 6-month program. And I started crying because I said, oh my God, that's how it gets shared with the world, through them, not through me. So that's what's happening now. I have a growing team of miracle mindset mentors that are using my modality as a foundation to help heart-centered humans do their inner work of healing and growth, right? Because it's basically personal development 101 for heart-centered humans. When I hit my rock bottom, Tony's teachings didn't work anymore. I'd done this other thing called landmark education. Those teachings didn't work anymore. I'd been Catholic my whole life. Catholic teachings got out there, me being a lonely sinner, didn't work anymore. So I needed something new. I was chosen to be the conduit of this new thing that is here to help heart-centered humans, people that have been to dark places, right? And a lot of us can relate because we've been through COVID. So this is something that I want to get out into the world in a bigger way. It cannot be the best kept secret. Right now, we're serving at a women's shelter in Mississauga. They said it is one of the best programs we've ever had. Life-changing, because these are women who have been in dark places and they've been abused, they've had domestic violence, and they're learning how to be miracle magnets so they don't have to go back to their abusers.
And how do people get started? What's the Because this is
Step one?
Yeah, what's step one?
Yeah. Step one is deciding that you're better than this. Whatever situation you're experiencing right now, have your IBTT moment right now with us, okay? Have your IBTT moment. I'm better than this. I deserve more than this. And just that decision will allow you to step forward and do all the things. You don't have to do my system. You can go do other systems, right? Whatever resonates with your heart and soul. Mine's just one that worked for me, and I was told to share it with the world, right? Oh, and the funnest fact of all, when I was able to get out of that inauthentic life to live my truth, where I don't work a day in my life because everything I do is in my JPG zone, I got to achieve my childhood dream at 11 years old. 40 years later, at 51, I became a professional jazz singer. I'm on world-class jazz stages. I've sung for the mayor of Mississauga's 60th birthday party. I have sung for Oprah Winfrey's man, Stedman Graham. I won Best Band in Mississauga last year. And I say that not to brag, but I say that when you get into alignment with what's truly in your heart and soul, name my first jazz band, the album's in there, I'll show you later, you can achieve miracles. Even though you do it later in life, I wanted it at 11, but I got it at 51.
Because you were aligned.
Because I was aligned. Exactly. And that's when miracles find you, when you get into alignment. When you're being your authentic self, you're not being your ego self, which is really a protective mechanism, wearing all the masks to look cool to the world like I did for many years as a drug rep. You know, I look shiny. I was a shit shoe on the inside.
And you know the podcast is called Put Down Your Mascara. And mascara means mask in Portuguese.
Yes.
So putting down that mask.
Yes.
And living your authentic life and living in a high vibration.
Yes. And being a miracle magnet. Everybody can do it. I really believe it's a choice. And we just have to say, I'm better than this. And we get to, and if you want, you can check out my online course. It's less than $300 Canadian plus HSD. And then you can join one of our Miracle Mindset groups, which is basically, or Love Your Vibe Transformation groups, which is a 6-month program where they get to practice the teachings and tools, because it's one thing to learn it and you go, yes, of course, this makes sense. I was living as a crap magnet. Now I can be a miracle magnet. But to actually practice it for 6 months, it actually transforms your brain. Our brains are neuroplastic. So we start showing up differently and saying different things to ourselves and behaving in different ways. Our brains transform. We can go from being total crap magnets in dark places to miracle magnets living in the light. And I've seen this work for so many people. And our team is growing because virtually every graduate of our program wants to become a facilitator. So that tells you something, right? And I didn't make it up. These women came together. They created the program based on my teachings and tools, but they made it even better. They added some other pieces that made it even better. So this is not about any one person and their ego. It is about helping humanity through these teachings and tools and really helping us to connect to the fact that we can be miracle magnets in whatever way we choose, right? 8 billion people, like I said, 8 billion ways to love your body.
I'm excited to see where this program goes and would love to hear from people who are interested in learning more about this. We'll put your website up at the bottom of this so people can find it, learn more information. Great things are about to happen, and I'm very excited that you're here sharing this with us, and thank you so much for your time today. I noticed you brought a mug with you.
Yes, I did.
We're both having a coffee here. So tell us about why this mug is special.
Well, it's all about the heart, right? I love you. It's all about love. When we live in a high vibration state, it's a state full of love, and we attract miracles because we are connected to our heart. We're connected to our truth. This is why I love red. This is why I love pink, because it's all about staying connected to our heart and our truth. And so for me, it's very important that we stay in that vibration of love every day. Do the things that we love. Stedman Graham had this great talk that he shared with me before I sang to him. And he basically talks about identity. And he says, you are not what the world tells you that you are. You are what you love, because that's your truth. Right? So that is why I resonated very much with him. And I went here to speak in Chicago the year after I sang to him, and he remembered me. He knew who I was, gave me a big old hug, and there's a project going on at a very high level that he needs to know about, but haven't told him about it yet. But it's coming. It's around the corner, and it's about helping heart-centered humans do their inner work so that we can reveal heaven on earth. And to do that, we need to engage the top 1% because they have visibility, they have the power, they have the money to help us do this work. right? So this is why I was meant to meet him. So anyway, so that's why love is important, because we need to stay connected to our heart and do what we love.
And I'm excited to be opening my heart to learn more today, and that mug is very special. Everybody's mug has a unique story. The one that I've chosen today is strong, beautiful, brave, and courageous.
That's who you are.
And that's who all women can be.
And it's a choice. It is a choice.
Love yourself, be strong, be beautiful, be brave, be courageous. Thank you for sharing your story today.
Thank you, Kate.
And that's today's episode of Put Down the Mascara. Before we sign off, I want to drop a friendly reminder your way. While we do our best to bring you helpful insights, stories, and perspectives on this podcast, I want to make it clear that we're not here to replace counselors, advisors, and experts. Remember, education and empowerment are journeys we embark on together, and seeking guidance from experts along the way is great for your personal growth. Thanks again for tuning in to Put Down the Mascara. We can't wait to have you back next time. Your feedback, stories, and suggestions keep us going and fuel our passion for empowering women everywhere.